What would you do if the very person you trusted the most, the one you thought had your back, secretly sold the land your family had owned for generations? Here's a saying that always sticks with me. Beware the smile of the treacherous, for it weathers the harshest storms while harboring the deadliest of intentions. In our world, betrayal isn't always loud. It's often silent, signed with a pen, and hidden behind fake smiles. This is the story of how betrayal turned into revenge, and why greed always destroys the greedy first. Before I tell you how it all unfolded, make sure to subscribe for more real-life stories of betrayal, revenge, and unexpected justice. Now let's begin. My land wasn't just dirt and grass. It was my heritage passed down from my father, who worked himself to the bone to buy every inch of it. To me, it was priceless. To others, it was worth millions. And then came she, my own relative, someone I thought was family, someone I trusted. She pretended to help me manage the land, deal with paperwork, and keep everything in order. What I didn't know was that she was quietly plotting to take it all away. One morning, I discovered something shocking. A neighbor told me that my land, was being cleared by construction workers. Confused and furious, I rushed there. That's when I found out she had sold it. Not just a piece of it, but the entire property. And she didn't even tell me. No phone call, no explanation. Just a forged signature, fake documents, and her pocket filled with dirty money. When I confronted her, she smirked and said, "It's just business. You wouldn't have used that land anyway." Those words cut deeper than any knife. She didn't just take my property. She insulted my father's legacy. I could have cried. I could have begged. But instead, I planned. Because sometimes, silence is the loudest revenge. First, I gathered every piece of evidence, fake signatures, forged papers, bank transfers. I went to the authorities, but I didn't stop there. I made sure the buyers of my land knew the deal was fraudulent. Then came the best part. The money she thought she had gained, she had to return every last penny. And because of her fraud, she was fined, sued, and banned from handling property ever again. Yet even that wasn't the end. The shame of what she did spread through the entire family. Friends cut ties, relatives turned their backs. The land was restored to me legally, and she had nothing. No money, no respect, and no one to stand by her. Now, after taking care of my land for months, I decided to use this experience to my advantage. I had a solid plan. I took steps to ensure such a thing never happens again. I added security measures and revised my legal documents. But I also had a vision for the future. Slowly, I began rebuilding. I started small, planting trees, restoring the fences. Then I brought in experts to assess the soil quality and develop a plan for crops that would thrive. My goal was to turn this place into a thriving farm. Within 2 years, my land, which had been neglected for so long, was back in business. It wasn't just producing crops, it was doing so much more. I set up a system for irrigation, added livestock, and even started a small store where I sold fresh produce. It was hard work, but it was rewarding. It was more than just a job. It was my passion, my connection to my roots, and my revenge. With each passing season, the land became more valuable. What she had tried to steal from me had turned into a profitable business, and the numbers reflected my success. In just 5 years, the annual income from the land was 5 times what it used to be. And then came the final twist. The buyers who had purchased my land, unaware of the fraud, wanted to sell. And who should show up but her, ready to strike a deal? With a cunning smile, she offered to buy back the land from the people I had sold it to. Her eyes gleamed with that same predatory look I remembered so well. She thought she had me trapped. But did she really know me? As she stepped onto my land, now more prosperous than ever, she saw the changes I had made. The manicured fields, the thriving animals, and the bustling store were a slap in the face to her greed. The land I had reclaimed was a testament to my resilience and hard work. I had taken what she had stolen from me and turned it into something greater. She offered to buy it back, thinking I would agree, thinking I still needed that land. But I had options. I could have dragged her to court again, but that wouldn't have brought back the years I lost, nor the emotional toll it had taken. So I did something else. I looked at her and said, "You want to buy it back? Let's make a deal." The surprise on her face was priceless. For a moment, she couldn't speak. She thought she had me cornered. How could I say yes when it meant admitting defeat, when it meant acknowledging that she had won? But I had a different plan, a plan born out of resilience and a desire to prove her wrong. I countered her offer, turning the tables and putting her on the spot. "You want to buy it back? Let's make a deal," I said, enjoying her shocked reaction. This wasn't just about getting my land back. It was about showing her that I wasn't the same person she had wronged. We negotiated terms, but I made sure the price was beyond what she could afford, a reflection of how much my land had grown since she sold it. It was a business transaction, but it was also a statement. I was reclaiming my power. I handed over the paperwork, ensuring every detail was in order. The transaction was smooth, almost surgical. There was no room for error. As she left with the documents, defeated and dejected, I knew I had won more than just a legal battle. I had won back my land and my self-respect. Today, my land is more than just a business. It's a symbol of my strength, a reminder of the day I took back control. And she watches from the sidelines, empty-handed, realizing the one truth she never understood. Greed always destroys the greedy first. Betrayal hurts, but it also teaches. I learned that family isn't always blood, and trust must be earned, not given blindly. My land is back, but more importantly, so is my pride. If someone betrays you, remember this. Revenge doesn't always need violence. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply watching them lose everything they tried to take from you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of betrayal and unexpected justice. Until next time, remember, never underestimate the quiet ones. Their silence can be the loudest revenge of all.